Happy Friday, everyone. I got to see my kids for the first time this week, and I was really excited. I got to see their faces. I got to see how tall they were, what they wore, their style. I got to see the color of their eyes. It was amazing, and I'm so glad I got to see these kids and see. I only get to see them one day a week, which is kind of sad for me, but at least I get to see them this year, which is awesome. We are working on solving quadratics. We have already learned all 5 methods to solve. We started by graphing, which for me, when I graph a quadratic in order to solve it, I just look for factoring, which leads to the graph. I just sketch it. So there's graphing, factoring. We have solved by square roots. We've solved by completing the square, and we've learned the quadratic formula. So we've learned all 5 methods, and so today what we're going to be doing is using something what we call the discriminant in order to find the number of solutions a quadratic equation has. The discriminant is going to look really familiar. You guys have already done this work, so it should go kind of fast for you guys. I'm hoping. Here it is, 9.4. This is the second part of our 9.4, called the discriminant. Here we go. The discriminant. First of all, the discriminant is just a number, okay? And the value of this number is what tells you how many solutions your quadratic equation has. So discriminant, just a number. This is going to be pink, kids. That tells you the number of solutions a quadratic equation has. Just a number that tells you the number of solutions a quad equation, I abbreviated that, has. Oof, I don't like ending that on has. English teachers won't be very happy with that, but oh well. Now, how to find the discriminant? B squared minus 4ac. It's a little expression you use in order to calculate that. This guy should look familiar. Think of it with the square root. So the discriminant is the expression that's found underneath your radical in the quadratic formula. Now, what you get as an answer for the discriminant will tell you the number of solutions, but I'm not going to tell you the number of solutions and what to look for. I'm going to see if you guys can figure out after I do 3 different examples. So this is what we're going to be using. Okay, 3 examples. Here we go. Example 1. So we're going to use the discriminant, find the discriminant, calculate the discriminant, to find the number of solutions. Use the discriminant, I'm going to abbreviate, to find the number of solutions. Solutions. I do not write very straight. When I hold up a board and look backwards, I was like, ooh, that doesn't look very straight. That's like, oh well. Okay, here we go. X squared plus 8x minus 3 equals 0. And real quickly, let's go over the ways you could possibly solve that. You could graph this. Factoring. Well, are there factors of -3 that add up to 8? No. So you actually could not solve this by factoring because it's not factorable. You could not use square roots. Completing the square. A is 1, B is even. So this one actually would be a good one to solve for completing the square. And quad formula. So those are just the different ways that you could solve this if you were actually looking for the roots. But we're not doing that. We're just now trying to figure out how many solutions it has. So we're going to do b squared minus 4ac. First thing on this problem, you always want to make sure your quadratic equations equal 0 before you can do this discriminant part. And since it does, we're ready to go. So b squared minus 4ac. I like to identify A, B, and C. Whoops. Kind of cut off the plus sign right there. But A, there's nothing there. So remember, that's a 1. B is positive 8, and C is negative 3. And go ahead and substitute your numbers in. So b is 8. So 8 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1. And c is negative 3. Let's start simplifying. 8 squared is 64. So it's negative 4 times 1, which is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 3, which is a positive 12. And 64 plus 12 is 76. That's not the answer. This right here is your discriminant. Discriminant. Whoops. I ran out of room, so I just wrote discrim. And then that's my dot. Now, this number is going to tell you the number of solutions, but I'm not going to tell you what to look for. I'm going to tell you that there's 2 solutions. Let's see if you could figure out what you want to look for. And I know that I'm going to be asking nobody, but I'll pretend like you guys are here. Okay, so the discriminant is 76, and it has 2 solutions. Remember, I'm going to tell you what to look for at the end. Let's do another one. Don't really want to squeeze this, so I'm going to go to the back. So we have 2x squared plus 7 equals 6x. There we go. Trying to hold my hands so I don't erase anything. Remember, first thing first, you have to make sure this equals 0 to start with. And since it doesn't, you want to make sure you move the 6x. You could move 2x squared or 7, but for me, I always look to have a leading coefficient that's positive, which that's good for me, or to move the smallest amount of terms. That's what I look for. Let's move 6x. So we're going to subtract it. So I have 2x squared minus 6x plus 7 equals 0. Guess it's not so sunny anymore. Losing light in here. We're good. So let's go b squared minus 4ac. I think my mouth's not quite catching up to my brain. Identify your ABC. Go ahead and substitute your numbers. I'm pulling up my calculator here. So b is negative 6. You want to put that in parentheses because remember, you're squaring something that's negative. That's why you always want to put negatives in parentheses. Minus 4 times 2 times 7. Okay, negative 6 times negative 6 is 36. So a negative times positive is going to be a negative. So I'm just going to throw that negative down there. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 7 is 56. Which is the same thing as saying negative 4 times 2 times 7, which is negative 56. 2 ways you can do that. Okay, 36 minus 56 is negative 20. Just to remind you guys what we had over here. Negative 20. I'm going to tell you that there are no solutions. So 0 solutions. Because remember, the question is asking for the number of solutions. I still kind of box the discriminant. I normally would have boxed this because I like things to pop out on my work. I want to know what I'm looking for. This is what you're going to look for in order to give you the actual answer to the question, which is the number of solutions. So there's 0 solutions, and our discriminant was negative 20. The discriminant on the first problem was 76, and there's 2 solutions. I have 1 problem to get through before we figure this out. Okay, another one. 6x squared plus 2x equals negative 1. Make sure it equals 0, so which one do you have to move? You can move that one. That's probably going to be your easiest one, because I don't want to move these 2 terms. Remember, I personally don't like a leading coefficient that's negative. So I'm going to add 1. 6x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0. Identify ABC, because now we're good to go with the equals 0. You're good for your b squared minus 4ac. So A, B, C. A, B, C. Plug your numbers in. So B is 2, so we have 2 squared minus 4 times, my goodness, A is 6 times C, which is 1. Two squared, 4. And so I'm just going to bring down my negative here since I just want to do it that way. So 4 times 6 is 24. Did I just do this problem? Oh, no. It's really similar, though. 4 times 6 is 24. 24 times 1 is 24. So 4 minus 24, gosh, is negative 20. Can't believe I pulled 2 problems with the same discriminant. Okay, so this has 0 solutions. I can't believe that. Oh well. Oh well. So, what if your discriminant equaled 0? Let's say you do the work and you get a discriminant that's 0. I would tell you there's 1 solution. So this guy's got 2 solutions. These 2, 0 solutions. I can't believe I had 2 problems that have the same discriminant. Just randomly plucked them. That's funny. And if you have a problem that has the discriminant that's 0, there's 1 solution. So this guy's got 2. These 2 have 0. And if the discriminant is 0, there's 1 solution. Has something to do with your signs and the value of the number. Here it is. Couple little things. So if you have b squared minus 4ac, and if that happens to be greater than 0, so any number greater than 0, just think of something that's positive. You have 2 solutions. Like this problem. The discriminant is positive, so you have 2 solutions. If the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, like the 2 problems I just did here that had the same discriminant, what are the odds of that? I don't know, but it is what it is. And there was 1 solution. Nope, sorry, 0 solutions. Solutions. 0 solutions. I can't really see that. So if the discriminant is less than 0, you have 0 solutions. So basically, if the discriminant is negative, you get 0 solutions. And if the discriminant equals 0, if it actually is 0, then you have 1 solution. So what you look for, guys, is your sign of the discriminant. Really. If it's positive, there's 2 solutions. If it's negative, there's 0 solutions because your parabola's not crossing. If it equals 0, there's 1 solution. That was the giveaway. I wanted to have like a 2 solution, a 1 solution, and a 0 solutions, but I guess it didn't work that way. Oh well. So that's the discriminant. Just remember the discriminant is just a number, but the value of that number tells you how many solutions there are. But if it equals 0, remember there's 1 solution. So kids would sometimes say, oh, my discriminant's 0, so there's 0 solutions. Be careful on this. If it's less than, so if it's negative, there's 0 solutions. But if it is 0, there's 1. So just kind of make sure that don't be quick to go, oh, discriminant 0, 0 solutions. So take a second or two. All right, that's it for today. You guys have a great day. Have a great weekend. Be excellent to each other. Most importantly, be kind. We'll see ya.